Hey, Mark.
Hey, Bart.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Okay, we just did that.
Welcome back to Rate My Card with returning contestant Mark Steinberg.
Okay, so now we move down to this last row and we have like 4 more. Okay, this guy, I love that pose there. Now that is Waddle?
Rube Waddell.
Rube Waddell.
A legendary Hall of Famer. And I just got to say, aside from whatever it grades, isn't that a beautiful card?
Yeah.
Look at the colors. Look at those pastel colors of the sunset. Purple at the bottom, orange in the middle, and blue at the top.
The subtle shadows and shading, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, his face is clear as a bell. The focus and registration are perfect.
Yeah.
And he's got that St. Louis uniform with the crazy floppy collar and the baggy uniform. It's just an absolute beautiful card, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm going to chime in here. The centering's a little off to the left and right, not much.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good top to bottom to me.
I would say top to bottom is just about perfect. Left to right, yeah, 60-40.
The corners look good.
The corners look really nice. This card should be a 5. They're going to give it a 4. That's my prediction.
So you're saying basically anything that's above a 5 is starting into a whole new world, right?
Well, if you were to have this thing graded in the early 2000s, that card would get a 6.
Huh. More discerning now? Or?
They've become much more discerning. They're much tougher for whatever reason. If it comes back anything worse than a 4, I will be crazed and angry.
Okay, so this next guy, another handsome young lad, it seems like it says Chicago, but it says American, so we know that's the White Sox, right?
Yeah, he's one of the greatest pitchers of all time. That's Ed Walsh.
Oh.
And that's the portrait version, which is I just love that mint green background.
Yeah.
It's just so sweet and so beautiful. And he's a handsome guy. I like the card and I love the uniform.
And I'm jealous of his hair.
Yeah, good head of hair there. And he was a great pitcher. I think he still holds the record for the lowest lifetime ERA in baseball history. A very important stat, but one that few people know.
Right. Grading?
With that said, that card was bought as Excellent Plus. I would grade it Excellent or a 5, but SGC is probably going to give it, if they go below a 4, I'm going to lose it. I'm thinking they're going to somehow find a way to give it a 3.5.
Okay, well, you're playing a conservative and a little pessimistic, and I can't wait for the follow-up show when we get these back.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Oh, and then we go to the same guy. Isn't that Waddell?
You got Rube Waddell again. I just love the guy. He was a crazy guy. He just did some really unusual things. I think
he's got kind of a crazy bird-like look.
Yeah, he was officially mentally ill, but...
oh, geez, I didn't mean that. Seriously?
Yeah. Oh, wow. He was. He would have been diagnosed with all kinds of afflictions today. But yeah, he was a great pitcher, mega Hall of Famer. This is a beautiful portrait. It's just clear as a bell. I mean,
yeah,
it's just an incredible Carl Horner portrait. The blue background is beautiful, and it's just, what can you say? It's a beautiful card in beautiful condition. Now the centering is probably about 65-35 on this one. Top to bottom looks good to me, and the corners are super sharp.
Yeah, the corners are really good. It seems like the lettering might be a little low. Should that lettering be centered under there, or is it?
I think it's okay.
Yeah,
I think it's okay.
Okay.
These T206s don't have a lot of space.
You think this is a 5?
Yeah, I think this one will come back a 5. I really do. If it doesn't, then I'm going to crack it. I would grade it a 6.5 or maybe even a 7. Let's say 6.5 would be my grade. 5 will be their grade.
So when you send these off, are they going to be in these cases that you have them in right now?
That's a good question. I love these cases. They're called one-touches, and they really display the cards beautifully.
Yeah.
I wish I could keep them there and not get them graded.
They're held on with magnets, right?
Yeah, they're held closed. That's a magnet you see at the top, right above his head.
So it's easily accessible, but nicely displayed.
Yeah, they pop right open, but they do keep the card nice and secure when it's closed.
Right.
But no, I will not send them in that. They prefer them sent in something called a top loader. That's how they prefer.
Okay, and then lastly for this episode, you're going to send out this guy.
Yeah, this guy is Zach Wheat, another Hall of Famer, played for Brooklyn primarily. These T206s, sometimes I like the portraits better because they're so incredibly intense and beautiful.
With the dramatic landscape.
Yeah, they did such a wonderful job with the sunsets and the beautiful skies. It's just such a work of art, really.
Really is.
And these are based on black and white photos where you had an artist filling in the color and making this black and white photo into a legitimate painting. As far as this car goes, it sure looks excellent to me. I would grade it a 5 all day. A little bit off center, left to right, about 60-40 maybe. Top to bottom looks pretty good. I'd give it a 5, and I would expect them to give it a 4. I just can't see that one going worse than a 4.
Okay. You know, Mark, we did a Sweet Spot episode a long time ago with those Tinkers to Evers to Chance cards that were so cool, and you've had them graded since then.
Yeah, they were sitting in old screw-down holders from way back in the past. Luckily, they came out clean, and they got pretty good grades.
They did. Look at that. A 5 and a 4 and a 5. That's really good.
Yeah, Tinker and Chance got 5s. Evers had a little more edge wear. That gold border is so tough because it would just chip off, and it shows the wear much more than a white border. So it's tough to get even a grade of 4 on these cards because they're so susceptible to wear, and they're so old. They're well over 100 years old.
Right, but they're just so pristine in the faces, and the color held up.
Yeah, the green backgrounds are spectacular.
So the cards that you're sending out, they'll come back like this with the grades up top like that?
Yeah, they're going to be slabbed exactly like this. They'll have the same thing at the top. It's called a flip, and that's what has the big bold number on it.
Right, so I like the way you have them in the other holders without the big garish number on there, but it's a necessary evil, as you say, right?
Yeah, I much prefer them ungraded.
Right.
I don't like the look of the slab. It looks like you're putting a historic, antique piece of memorabilia in a modern slab. It just doesn't work for me, but we're going to go through the process and see how it goes.
Well, I think it's safe to say that none of these cards were in the spokes of my Schwinn Stingray.
Yeah, these cards managed to avoid those bikes with the gigantic front wheel and the tiny back wheel.
I had the tiny front wheel because I could wheelie pop.
Oh.
And it's going to be really fun. Thanks for sharing, Mark.
You're welcome.